The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Homeless Veteran Transition Program Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain, and I'm flying solo today. Sorry, we don't have a cool guest co-host, celebrity co-host here today, but like I always promise, we have amazing guests on the show today. But as you know, this would not be the Common Good Radio Show if I did not give grace and put God first, as I do every single show, usually with the Lord's Prayer that goes a little something like this. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So that being said, we have actually a party in studio here today. I want to say I got a good buddy here, but we actually have a menagerie of amazing people in studio. We as usual, we got a good buddy Billy with Tucson Tool Shop. Thank you for being here, Billy. He'll be the first man on the hot seat.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
And then also in the corner, but you're not too far in the corner, so you'll hear them. Hopefully they'll jump in to help me grill Billy here. We got Amy and Andrew Dobbins, local celebrities in their own right, with intelligent design and with it blanks my mind every single time. Tell me the name. International.
Masterpiece
International. I'm sorry. Even when we met in person, that happened like 5 times. But they're with Intelligent Design, which I'm guessing a lot of you guys have seen the trucks and the vans moving around. But behind that, and what we're really excited to talk about later on the show is Masterpiece International and the work that they're doing there as well. So when you hear them chime in, please definitely be part of the conversation with me, with Billy. Billy, the founder of Tucson Tool Shop, but the owner of what used to be Kent's Tools, what is a pillar in Tucson. I've driven by. I lost count how many times I've driven by the place, but it is almost. I'd like to describe it as kind of like a candy shop for us old dogs that like tools. So, but.
Or anybody who likes tools.
Or anybody's, but yeah, I was thinking of myself, but yeah, but describe it for someone who's never been to Tucson Tool Shop. Explain to them.
We have all kinds of tools, new and used, everything for professionals or homeowners, do-it-yourselfers. Everything from machinists to woodworking, landscaping. Gas, electric, air tools, you name it. I probably have it, or I can get it for you really quickly.
Nice. And we were talking about before the show, and I don't think I've officially said it, though, but Amy and Andrew, thank you for being here.
Appreciate you having us.
Absolutely. You just recently had the front of your store paved. Tell us about that.
Yeah, a regular customer, good friend of mine, his name is Tom Warren, was there helping me out with some things like he does every once in a while. And paving company came in to offer, discounted rates to pave the front, make it look a little better. I said, I can't really do that and afford that right now. Him, without blinking an eye, jumped in and said, get it done for him.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool. Let's give him a shout out one more time. What was the name of his name and the name of his organization?
His name is Tom Warren.
Okay. Nice.
He's a good friend of mine and comes and helps out every once in a while. So
well, thank you, Tom.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Tom. Absolutely. And then you're also talking about some unique tools, because I feel like I talk about it every month, because when I take a tour of your site, I feel like I could spend hours there, kind of like noodling through stuff, because there's hundreds of thousands, millions of pieces from, like, literally, like you said, anything a person could possibly think of. But today it seems like you had some very interesting tools come through your door, even more than usual. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I had an older gentleman, probably in his 90s. He brought me like his whole life collection of woodworking tools, woodworking like planes and chisels and boat making things, and like 6 milk crates just full of awesome stuff that I'm beginning to go through and look at.
That's interesting. And as you're saying that, and most of my friends would probably agree with me. I wouldn't even know where to start. I wouldn't know where to put it. I wouldn't know what those things are. When whether it's someone with these kind of unique tools that come in, or the plethora of tools that you guys have throughout the store, like, how do you learn this stuff? How do you know this stuff? And after you answer that, and how much of a benefit it is it getting a tool from you versus the other places? I'm not going to use their name, but in comparison, it seems like having you at their fingertips to know woodworking tools. Like, who knows woodworking tools?
Yeah, or who has a wide variety of tool knowledge like me. I mean, and it started about 12 years ago. I was supposed to be a temporary helper at Ken's Tools, and so I wanted to help as much as I could, and I just tried to be a sponge and absorb everything. So I listened to everything Kent and Sally and Uncle Butch said and what they told the customers, and I just asked questions and just have gained a whole bunch of knowledge that I like to share with everybody. So.
And with these woodworking tools, you're saying you go through them, like, what does that process look like? And then, like, moving forward, like, what type of tools are you looking for from other people that are listening?
Well, everything that comes in, I go through it, and I first of all, I get to play with it first, because that's part of my
That's part of the job, absolutely.
Yeah. But I go through and play with it and test it, make sure it works good and everything, because I give 30-day guarantees on everything. Most of the other places you can buy tools don't give you guarantees like that, but I do, even if it's used, because I take that much time and care into it and make sure that it's going to be a good quality tool for people to purchase and have.
Nice. And then last time on the show, we were talking about how it's not just these kind of like cool, unique, antique tools that you guys have come in the door. What are some of the other new tools that you guys have come in the door within the past couple weeks in the month?
I had a couple oxyacetylene welding sets come in, some taller, like 4-foot bottles, some smaller 2-foot bottles. I had some Husqvarna 14-inch gas-powered concrete saws. Those are the coolest ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Just a funny question that comes to mind real quick. Do you recognize the name of any of these tools, Andrew?
Well, as soon as you said oxyacetylene, I'm like, hey, I know guys that need that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Might use those on air conditioners.
Well, Andrew knows. I don't. I'm lost. Are we on the same page, Amy?
Oh, I tuned out.
Yeah.
I really don't know these tools.
Well, good. Me and Amy are on the same page on this, but it's super cool that, like, as you were saying that, though, something that did come to mind is, like, what are, like, the most common tools that you guys end up selling?
The ones we get the most calls for are drill bits.
Okay.
Drill bits, taps and dies, sockets, wrenches, kind of those more everyday things that everybody needs. But I carry all the goofy sizes or sizes that most other places have to call and order in. Like, who's gonna carry a 0.5 millimeter tap, or a 1/64 drill bit, or number 87 drill bit that's like a hair. And I have all that stuff in stock and ready to go.
Yeah, and another thing that kind of comes to mind, you're saying this, and we'll give out some contact information after I make this pointless point, is that, like, with an organization like Intelligent Design that has, like, all these different tools, all these different things, instead of having to purchase something new every time, they could go to an organization like yours that has that piece, and they can just repair it rather than having to replace it new every single time.
Yeah, definitely. We have new and used stuff. Like I said, I go through it, make sure it's all good, and I give a 30-day guarantee. I have some shelving units out in the back. If a part of your tool breaks, we can try and find something for you. But even if it's new stuff, I usually beat everybody else in town by 20%. So I can just save everybody lots of money.
Nice. And for people who want to stop by the place or get a hold of you, how can they do that?
It's 133 East Grant Road, Grant 1 block east of Stone, on the north side of the road. email TucsonToolshop@gmail. We're on eBay, TucsonToolshop.com. The shop number is 520-624-8098, or you can call me on my cell phone. I'll help you out as well. 520-633-5599.
Billy, thank you so much, brother.
Thanks again. It's always a pleasure.
That's Billy with Tucson Tool Shop. Definitely check them out. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain. As always, I want to thank our sponsors, Proper Villains for Tucson, We Care Tucson, 100 plus guys who give, White Stallion Ranch, Tucson Tool Shop, our favorite, Donto Dust Landscaping, Arizona Choice Home Care Solutions, Hope Dealers Global, CB2PGA, and Pep Inc. We'll have all that and more after the break. But remember, at the end of every day, it's night.
The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Hello, welcome back. Thank you for hanging in there. Hope you got your potty break in, got yourself a little snack. We are here. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain, and as I promised you, I have more great guests for you. They were here hanging out a little bit earlier. I think they were shaking off the nerves the first segment, but we have Mr. Andrew and Mrs. Amy Dobbins with Intelligent Design and Masterpiece International. Thank you so much.
Appreciate
being
it.
here.
It's
Thank
good to
you.
be here.
We love opportunities like this to share about what we do.
Yeah, it's super cool. I think, and where I feel so honored to have you guys on the show, because I don't think people really know the depths of how awesome Intelligent Design is. Like, even above and beyond, the very clean and very well put together, brand, and your vehicles, like everything is just like, a chef's kiss behind the scenes, where most people probably don't know about or don't know about enough. You guys do some amazing ministerial work globally, so I certainly look forward to talking about that. But before we get to that, let's talk about what probably most people are most familiar with in the brand Intelligent Design, and tell us about the business that is Intelligent Design, and what is Intelligent Design for people who don't know what Intelligent Design does.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, to start off, the thermostat wars are real.
Okay.
She's always too cold, I'm always too hot.
I
So
can
if
see
you've seen
that.
the commercials, that's legit.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Beyond that, we take care of all the major systems in the home. So we're an in-home repair and service company, and we are getting into the commercial market. We don't do new construction, so we are used to working in the home with your family and your drywall and carpets and clean, neat, professional for all the major systems. So that's air conditioning and heating, plumbing, electrical, and roofing, and along with roofing is solar. So
Yeah.
the cool thing is, once you find a company that you like, and we've got 22,000 five-star reviews, you know that you can trust us. We're going to take care of you. You don't need to figure it out every time you have some different thing on any one of those 5 major things in your home. We got it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And man, you say, you have this, you'd imagine probably one of the things you're most proud of is all those 5-star reviews, but what would you say you're the most proud of?
We love and care and serve our people as our internal customers, and we teach them to go and do that for the community. Go and treat every person like your mother or grandmother. Serve and love and care, and we are a home service company. So I love that the reason we get the 5-star reviews is because we go and we care and serve the community, and then the money takes care of itself, the reviews take care of itself, and we serve for God and the kingdom, and we serve the community in the trades.
And it's, I think something that, that when we met last, it really struck me. You said, when I come on the show, more than anything, what I want to try to get across that probably isn't getting across enough for the public is, as much as Intelligent Design does some amazing work, that is certainly some of the excellent customer service and some of the greatest service in Tucson, and we certainly deliver for this community amazing. we're about doing above and beyond than for the Tucson community as much as you love the Tucson community. Speak to that a little bit. Maybe I'll turn it over to you, Amy, to speak on that.
Sure. We love our Tucson community. We back that up with our finances when we can. There are a number of local ministries that we have just supported pretty extravagantly, actually, over the years. So locally we do that. Really, the bulk of our heart and finances is actually going to the other side of the world in Uganda. And so that history actually goes back 20 years, long before intelligent design started.
Wow.
So intelligent design is 2012, right?
11.
2011. Yeah, so we're at what, 13, 14 years on that. But
Well, share some of those rescue stories from your work in Uganda, if you don't mind.
yeah, well, let Andrew, actually, he says it much more concise than I do. Share the overall, like what we're doing there, and then I can jump in on some of the actual stories.
Yeah, so in the 20 years, we were doing one thing to try and go and preach the gospel and give positive messages. And what we discovered as our leaders on the ground were interviewing the tribal leaders on how well it landed was that although the message was good, the people, and for a long time the primary message was to help in the AIDS epidemic and provide a message of abstinence until marriage, and then with ministering and preaching Jesus at the same time. And the challenge was that when we'd go in and teach this message, the tribal leaders would say, well, good message, but you see that person over there, well, her kids will starve to death if she stops being a prostitute. And that family over there, they're prostituting their daughter so their boys can go to school. And so they're starving to death, and we have the youngest population in the world due to the AIDS crisis, and the highest unemployment rate because the adults died off, and now you have young country and a high unemployment rate. So they're left with starving to death or doing these really bad activities. So the idea is we need to lift them up before we can preach the gospel and have it land. And so on the ground, we did a test run on a trade school. They would call it a skilling center, and it was highly successful in renting a building. We graduated a ton of students, and then we said this is fertile ground, and we bought land, and we are finishing building a 35,000 square foot facility that will be able to graduate 2,000 to 3,000 students a year. And then on the ground floor, there will be shops and businesses that have to do with those trades that we're teaching that will then perpetually fund the school once it's complete.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So as far as stories, there's really so many. I would say about 70% of our students are female. Which is saying a lot. It actually takes quite a bit of our local staff's effort to go into the villages and convince the families to let the girls go, to get any kind of education, because it's just not, it's not a value. They're more like servants in the home, even in their own families. And so a story of just one of our girls who lives right around the corner from our facility. Her name is Victoria, and she's only 20 years old. But when both of her parents died when she was very, very young of AIDS, she ended up with her grandmother at 7 years old. Her grandmother sent her into the bar that she owned at 7 to prostitute herself to the elderly men that would, frequent the bar. Started obviously not of her own choices, because 7 years old, drinking and alcohol and drugs and that kind of stuff, and that was the way that her life went. Every man that was around her would manipulate and find ways to make promises to sleep with her and then abandon. She ended up as a single mom with 2 babies that way. And then those 2 babies ended up, because she couldn't care for them, back to her grandmother, who prostituted her at age 7. She is currently living right next to our facilities, and she is the 4th wife of an elderly man And when I say wife, I don't mean legally, like he just said.
Mm.
I will bring you in and make sure that you survive. And then he has a fourth sexual slave now. So her being able to go to our school and learn tailoring gives her choices that she no longer had. And so through that process, she's been introduced to Jesus, and that is where she is placing her faith. She was baptized just a few weeks ago.
That's amazing.
And so just the most devastating, desperate stories from young people, and multiply that times hundreds. And then once we're fully scaled, thousands that we're able to legitimately rescue and pull out of poverty and skill them.
So we got about 30 seconds till we have to jump out of here. But how can people plug in with Intelligent Design and utilize their services? And then how can ultimately people help out with Masterpiece International?
So Intelligent Design, it's if your house feels like hell and not heaven, call 888-8787, or you can go to iDesignAC.com and just use our services. We'll serve you well. We'll take care of you and your family, and we know once you start using us, you won't go anywhere else. And then masterpieceinternational.org. We've got a page. We are still raising funds to finish the project. If you have funds and you want to hear more about the project, we would love to show you what we're doing so we can get it to completion.
Awesome. Well, Amy, Andrew, thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the Dobbins of Intelligent Design. And remember, if you're feeling down, sit back and relax for 24 hours. It will really make your day.